Hey everybody, welcome to a live stream event here. I have the honor and the pleasure to speak with Stan, who is based out of Los Angeles. My name is John, Tech Geek Tesla. I've been posting videos on Tesla's full self-driving and documenting its progress along the way since October 2021. I'm really excited and delighted to introduce Stan to everybody. He's been posting a lot of really exciting videos on X, and he's been testing for a couple of weeks now version 12 and has been noticing a lot of really huge, quite significant improvements. So this is my first time hosting a live session using StreamYard, so bear with me if there are any technical difficulties, but I want to thank everybody for joining. Please forward the link along. Feel free to share this with your friends and family. This is going to be an exciting discussion. Like I said, Stan has a lot of content that he's pushed out there, and I thought it'd be helpful to kind of put everything in one place. So Stan, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey John, yeah, I'm Stan. I'm based off of LA. It's a pleasure to be here on this channel with you. To discuss the latest full self-driving version 12, currently 12.2.1, that I was lucky to get a couple weeks ago. And I know it's a small rollout, so there's not many people that actually have it. So one of the things that I wanted to do is to share it with everybody, because I know everyone's eager to receive it, and everyone's eager to find out how it's improved, because it's a whole new architecture compared to version 11. So there's a lot of fear that, new architecture, more issues, but in fact, it's been amazing. Version 12 has performed amazing in the 2 weeks that I've been testing it. So yeah, I wanted to come on here with you to share some of the clips that I've shared on X, and we can maybe go over them in detail to kind of see like the nuances of the new version.
Awesome. I am super excited. I'm stoked for this. So like I said, your content is, above and beyond a lot of other people. And not that we should compare people's content, but you have such great, valuable insight into version 12. And I know that you've been testing for a little while now. If you were to kind of summarize full self-driving beta, it's still in beta, version 12, how would you summarize it into kind of one sentence?
Yeah, I mean, it won't be like a full sentence, but I'll give you like the little bits of what I find like super great, especially for this version. So one of the things is butter smooth turns. Like it's the most like left and right turns as it goes through them is very, very natural. Like a human makes them, less robotic. We have very, like on city streets, is extremely assertive. I mean, it could be a little too assertive, but as far as like changing lanes and changing lanes to make it to the left or right turns, it does a really great job. And it obviously has new features like U-turns, navigating parking lots, and now it can detect pretty much all speed bumps. I haven't had yet a speed bump that's not been detected. So those are like the main features of the version.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people that are located in California have it, and you're located out of Los Angeles. Have you taken it out in rush hour traffic before?
For like before version 12 or
with version 12, yeah. Have you tested in rush hour traffic?
Yeah. So yeah, you have to keep in mind that version 12 on the highway is the same as version 11. It looks like they did not update the end-to-end stack to be on the highway as well. So highway has performed the same as version 11. So highway on version 11 is hesitant to make lane changes in heavier traffic. So that's still like needs work. But on the city streets, it's completely different. The assertiveness on changing lanes, especially during heavier traffic, I mean, it really, it signals the intent to change lanes with signaling is really good, because it before it even starts moving, it turns on the signal and slowly moves to the side where the other cars, when the traffic is heavier, they realize that you want to move over, and they'll actually kind of slow down. Not that you're like pushing yourself in there, but it's hard to describe when you're in the car. It's like, does it perfectly. Yeah.
Wow. So you've observed then, kind of like you said, human-like behavior. It surprises you in situations.
Yeah. especially with the turns, smoothness of the turns, and now it has improved, making a left turns from center of the street, bring on unpredictable left turns at the traffic light. It's more assertive, so it'll pick the right spots to turn or start as the car is passing through, and it starts making the turn slowly. It's like a human would, right? As the gap opens up, it goes. So it kind of, as a driver assistant, you're always paying attention to what the car's trying to do, and so these little hints that it gives you, it makes it so much safer behind the wheel, monitoring the car.
Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. Super exciting. Well, we have a lot of clips prepared for everybody. I've kind of hand selected the top 20, and I've categorized them into different areas that I think are going to be interesting to discuss here. So we have about an hour to go over this footage. And I encourage everybody to throw comments into the chat here. I do see a couple coming in already. I'll be happy to kind of throw them up on screen. We can have an open dialogue. This is meant to be kind of a collaborative session. So thanks so much, everybody, for joining. I do see one comment here before we get started with the footage here. This is by Hars. It says, Holmar's catalog said that it is slow at stop signs and unprotected right turns. Is that something you've experienced?
Let's see, slow at stop signs. So slow to take, I mean, once they did this 2-second stop at a stop sign, even since version 11, stop signs have been really just like annoying. I guess that's one way to describe them. It's just it does come to stop a little slower maybe than version 11, but not that noticeable. What I've noticed with version 12 is that it will wait the 2 seconds, but it takes off faster than it did in version 11. So it kind of mitigates that feeling like the person behind is about to push you, that you're taking too long. When the car takes off faster, it actually makes it feel like the 2 seconds is like mitigated. Like it's okay to wait the 2 seconds because we took off faster. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I know AI Driver commented on the same type of thing, is how it takes off faster. And I've noticed that as well from other testers. That's great.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, let's jump into the footage here. So let me change the view.
Yeah. So.
All right. So yeah, I have this categorized into, to start with here. Category 1 is version 12, lane selection and movement. So we have 4 different clips that kind of highlight the differences here, particularly versus version 11.
Yeah, you want to start going through it?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first one we're going to share. That's one of, I think when I posted on X, is one of my favorite features, because it shows sort of the assertiveness of the system of FSD 12. But it also kind of shows something they need to work on, which is lane selection. What you're seeing here is we're making a left turn to get from basically a left turn from two turning left lanes, and then we have to get over to the right lane immediately to make a right turn. So ideally, we should be in the this lane over here instead of this one on the left, right? So that's something they need to work on as far as planning, right? But previously, we're gonna go through what version 11 did, and then we'll compare it to what version 12, and you'll notice the difference.
Awesome.
So as we're playing it through.
Yeah, I saw this. It's so cool how it immediately starts going over.
So this is version 11.
This is version 11. Yeah, actually. Yeah.
You see how how long it takes to actually get over? I mean, just notice the speed, right? But now in version 12, I mean, you're gonna see, like, first notice how smooth it is to make that turn, but then immediately it starts moving over, and then this car right behind us, it noticed that we were gonna. I mean, just you can tell, right? Like this is maybe like half a car length behind us. This guy slowed down because we saw the intent. And
nice. Yeah, and the turn signal's on.
Our way in there. And
right.
we made it, right? Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and the turn signal was on and everything. Yeah, it was really fast to get over compared to version 11.
Right. Yeah. That's one of the major difference that I've seen. And we'll do
Nice.
the second one is. So this one is so here we're making a right turn, and immediately we need to get over to the left lane, left turning lane, and you'll see kind of how, what there was somebody that had a question about taking too long to stop. But this one, what you'll notice is that when we make that right turn, the car, maybe it's hard to tell from the video, but it accelerates much faster than version 11 to get off that stop, because there was cars coming from the left side, and we needed to be more assertive. And this showcases that. You can look how quickly it sped up to 25, 30, and immediately, and now it's going to sneak into this weird spot of a left turn. But look, like it was just like all in one smooth motion.
Nice. Would version 11 get over into that weird spot? Because
no, version 11. I think in one of the videos I showed, it didn't even know how to deal. See how this the double yellow line?
Yes.
That's like, it didn't know what that meant, so it tried to actually take a turn from this straight lane, and it would always miss this turn.
No way.
This in itself is an improvement. It knows how to get behind, because it's a shared. It's here they call it suicide lane, because it's a shared lane between like both sides. So there has to be a negotiation between the two cars, because there could be a line of cars that line up here, trying to make a left, right?
Right.
And so we have a gap to go behind them to make the left. So it's a really odd, weirdly designed intersection, and version 12 handles it really well.
Wow, that is so cool. I love how it speeds up. It's hard to get a sense of seeing that in the video, but when it first
really hard
there.
You almost have to watch the speed. Yeah, because you feel that getting pushed back in your seat as it accelerates.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love it. Were there cars like right there, like as you came out?
I mean, that's why I was a little afraid that we started a little early, but then when the car took off, I mean, there was nobody on our behind. It was perfectly executed.
Awesome. Oh, that's so cool.
And
this next one, so this is something that I absolutely love. So I have this issue happening in Chicago area all the time. So this is, if you don't mind me kind of introducing this one, because this one is near and dear to my heart, because I've had this issue forever with version 10 and version 11. What happens is you're at a right turn, and you can turn right on red, which is just fine. However, there's traffic coming in front of you, and they have a green arrow to turn left. So they have like a protected left turn, the cars in front of you. Yeah, and you can see that car in front of you, that like they're sitting there just waiting appropriately, like you say, the proper way to wait to go right on red. And you have to yield. It's the law to yield to those cars that have the protected left in front of you. And forever with version 11, my car would just go. And it's like, like sometimes you get lucky, other times it's like you have to disengage. More often than not, I was disengaging. Yeah, more often than not, I was disengaging. But this blew me away when I saw this. And I'm very curious, is this repeatable? Like, have you had this happen multiple times where it actually...
Yep, I've had already few intersections where that same behavior, good behavior, has been repeated. So this will, you want me to play the video?
Awesome. Yeah, please.
So this is the before. There's a car coming. We should be waiting for them, and we don't. We just go, and you can see they're gonna go right into the same path as we are going.
Yes,
so it's unsafe behavior. And now on
and when I posted a to interrupt, when I posted a video on this, I had a lot of feedback, because often what happens in these situations is you'll have either one or two lanes of cars that are piling in, with that left turn, and they line up with two lanes or one lane on that other on the perpendicular road. Yeah. So what happens is, for you actually have a protected lane yourself to turn right into. However, the cars often drift unknowingly across the lines when they're making that left turn. So even though I had a lot of comments saying, they're wrong, you're right, like you can turn right there's a spot for you. But obviously, as we all know, like you can't just like trust that they're gonna follow the rules. So you have to yield to them ultimately.
Yeah, and actually, regarding that, I'm glad you mentioned that. Is like California law says that if you're making a left turn from that leftmost lane, you have you can end your turn in any of the available outer lanes. So what he did here is safe. Like not, I mean, maybe not safe, but it's legal. So he has the right of way, his the ability to make a turn into both of these lanes. That's California
Oh, he
law.
does. Oh, wow,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So maybe other states doesn't allow that, but here, that's dangerous. That'll be a dangerous move for us to try to go into that same lane. So
Right.
yeah, and this is version 12. You can see that there's cars coming and FSD is waiting. Like it's not even creeping up to the wall. That would actually scare me if it did that. See how there's the blue line? It's waiting patiently. I mean, it's like slowly going forward, but you can feel that it's not really wanting to go. See, it had opportunity to do that right here, right? There was a gap.
Oh, yeah.
See this gap? In version 11, it would have gone here.
Right.
But look, it's waiting, right? Like it's waiting for all the cars to pass through. Now again, I say I've done this like I've encountered like 3 or 4 times of this, but repeatability is important, so I'm gonna have to take it through a lot more situations to confirm that that's actually the behavior. But it looks promising, yeah.
Love it. That's awesome. Now this next one, I know you're super excited about.
Oh yeah,
and this is something that you've got a lot of feedback on X related to this particular video.
No, so this one is a new one. I wanted to share it with you here.
Okay.
Where I posted it on X. This is a new video that I wanted to post on X, but I was like, oh, might as well just go through it here live with you, debut it here, because again, it's easier to actually discuss what's actually happening. When I post this on X, I'm gonna have to edit it to show exactly what are the little details that impress me here. So cool. I'm gonna play this. Okay, so what is happening here is we're following. It's a 2-lane. It's a 1-lane road each side, right? And then there's a traffic light ahead, and you can make a left turn from the center of the street. So what's happening here? That car ahead right here. You can see my mouse pointing, right?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure that I'm pointing to something. So that car is going to be making a left turn, and so notice what FSD does. So that's blinded by this car in front of us. I think that's a Porsche. And so they're going to go around, and you'll see what FSD does. I mean, without even any hesitation, right? It went.
So awesome.
What actually impressed me about this? Let's go back. Watch this. So as the car, as the view is opened up, you can the car. We obviously see that this guy's making a left turn in front of us. But watch the blue path right here. As we're slowing down, look at that. It basically locks onto the back of this car going around. Wow. So it's like a follow the leader type thing, right? So it's just gonna go right. And so without any hesitation, the car just goes right around it.
That is so cool. I've never seen version 11 do that ever.
Yeah, that is the smoothest I've ever seen. Some version 11, it maybe stop behind the car, not sure what it's doing, or there'll be a lot of hesitation. You just notice here the speed. We're not even slowing down. We're going 12, 11, 10. That's it, 10, and then go back to 11. It's like, yeah,
it's amazing.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Never seen that before.
So yeah, that's the clip that I want to share with you here.
Nice. All right, so let's move on to category 2. This is version 12, narrow passages.
Yeah. So this guy. Okay, so this one. Okay, so in this case here, we're going straight. It's a unmarked road, but 2 lanes, and not 2 lanes. It's 1 lane, but both directions. and there's parked cars on the right side, and you know, we just don't have enough space for 2 cars to pass through. It's at least
Sure.
for like larger vehicles. And so FSD here, you're gonna notice that it detects the car coming across and waits behind this truck for the other car to pass, and then moves along, and it does it very smoothly. And no
This
jerky,
was impressive because
motion.
there were, I mean, it slowed down well in advance.
And also that it didn't even do a full stop. Look how it did. Just look at the speed limit, the speed of the car. It goes down slowly, as it's not even an abrupt stop to 0. It just like slowly moving forward until the other car passes and then continues. Like look at it, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and then boom, takes off. Like you see that it's like so smooth. There's no stopping here.
Wow, that is really cool. Love that one.
And we'll go to the next one. This one actually, I made 2 posts on this one because it's like this first part of it shows the sort of like the assertiveness. I don't want to say aggressiveness, but it's like sort of assertively moving, making a turn into that same situation where the lane is very narrow and there's a car coming from the other side. But notice that we take, obviously FSD sees that the ego sees that there's a car coming. I mean, my visualization doesn't show it here, but it knows it's coming because it's doing it very slowly. And so we're going into the other the path of sort of the other car, but they're gonna have to slow down to let us through. Just look how they purposely slow down before the stop to let us through. See?
Wow.
So that's a very assertive behavior that I didn't see in version 11 before. And now here again, like in version 11, it would slow down. It was completely stop when these cars pass through. With there's plenty of room to go, and this not phased at all in this version. Like it just goes through.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay.
This next one is my favorite. I love this one with the truck.
Yeah, that's the truck one.
Oh, this one, version 11 would never do this. And when I saw this, I got really excited.
I'll play it through. I think I don't have to even. Okay, similarly here, there's a car coming. I can talk about it. There's a car far away, yeah. And then FSD detects it and immediately slows down behind this truck. And similarly, it's like it's gonna go to 0 in this case because it's taking too long for the other car to pass. But it does it very smoothly. Stops behind. It waits. The car pass and then like peeks over and says, I'm ready to go.
Sure. Oh, that's awesome. Version 11, I take that back. Version 11 may be able to pull that off, but it would be awfully jerky movements to do that.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a couple of things you'll notice is like this peaking behavior, like right here. Do you notice how this when it's moving behind the truck, all of a sudden it like peeks ahead to see like, oh, do I have room? Do I have room?
Oh, yeah.
So like sort of like peeking back.
Yeah, it like changes its mind quickly. Yeah. It says, "Oh, I can't go there."
But it doesn't make it. Yeah, you don't feel in the car that it's gonna go for it. It just you can sense that it's gonna wait.
That is so cool. Yeah. Love that. Nice, great. Yeah, so that's narrow passages. So definitely some improvements there. The next category is path planning with lane blockage. And you had posted quite a few of these. I think this has the most videos, I would say. And this, in my opinion, is kind of the biggest improvement with version 12 that I've observed between yourself, Holmar's blog, and AI Driver, primarily posting videos. It just looks like the path planning has been significantly improved. And especially if there's something in the way, like some path blockage, it seems to kind of much more intelligently move around. Yesterday, I was down in Chicago filming version 11.4.9, and there were a number of times where there were cars that just kind of stopped in front of me, and my car waited, and then it didn't actually go around them, so it would get stuck. Have you had version 12 where it gets stuck?
There is. I talk about similarly, like where like you're waiting for cars to pass through, and then you can take over. Is it like the narrow road type?
Yes, correct. Where you're kind of you're waiting behind a stopped vehicle, and then it just continues to wait there. It never does anything.
Okay, so I mean, there I saw somebody with a similar situation. Like I think the one that I just showed. I don't think you're talking about where it's like waiting here and then gets stuck though it doesn't go. You're talking about
Yeah, that's
different.
what I'm talking about. Yeah, has it
Yeah,
ever
so
gotten
yeah,
stuck?
I saw somebody. There's somebody in LA that does the FSD 12 videos. I can't remember the name of the person's handle off the top of my head, but he showed an example where it did this exact same thing, but like it was parked cars, not a stop, and it waited
Mhm.
for someone, and it kind of got stuck waiting there. He just let it because
Oh,
there's
okay.
nobody behind him. He had
That
to
can
press
still
the
happen.
accelerator, but
I see.
I haven't experienced it yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
It
interesting.
pulled over. It did
Yeah,
the same move. It pulled over. It waited, but it just didn't. It didn't keep going. Yeah.
I see, I see. Interesting. So that still can happen. Good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. That looks like. But I just don't remember ever having that and being able to even pull over in version 11. Maybe I just didn't experience, didn't come
Mhm,
across
mhm.
that scenario. So
Got it.
yeah. So this one, I think, the one that you said that you enjoyed. So here's what's happening is like, this is a 2-lane road, and it continues. The thing is, it's hard to tell in the distance whether it's like 1 lane or 2 lanes. So because there's a parked car right after that traffic light,
Mhm,
there's a
mhm.
parked car here, and it looks like it's blocking that lane. So in version 11, it immediately as it starts going through the intersection, it it actually even takes too long to even get started. But you see how it detected the blockage, and then all of a sudden it's gonna try to change lanes in the middle of the intersection, which is very unsafe in this one because it's an odd intersection, and then goes
Right.
around. You'll see that there's like it didn't have to change lanes. It had it had just like that truck had enough space to go there, so it had enough lanes, so it didn't have to change
Right,
lanes.
and it changes in the middle. Yeah,
Yeah,
which is not good.
and so you'll see in version 12, like it doesn't even get phased by it. It just goes through, plows through. See, like not no hesitation, just goes right through, and detects the open car door, and goes
Right.
around it without also hesitation.
Nice. I bet that felt really natural.
Yeah, that was very human-like right there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like that one. This next one is one of my favorites. It's a car that's kind of jutting out of a driveway, and it kind of is indicating that the car is going to back up into the road. So, I think it's intuitive for the software to kind of assume the worst case condition. So I'm not sure what's the best thing to do, but obviously, if there's cars in back of you, you don't want to slow down. As a human, you can kind of quickly determine what's happening in this situation, but for a computer, I think it's hard to determine intent of other drivers.
Yeah, yeah, and in this case, so this is UCLA. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the UCLA area. It's a lot of college students, no parking whatsoever. Like
Hmm.
these streets are lined with parked cars, and what happens is like people start using the sidewalks to park on, and just like oddly shaped like car positions. And in this case, particularly, it got caught that the version 11 thought there was a car that was in blocking our path, even though it was like a parked car. There's nothing really blocking us, but it decided it was going to stop right behind it, wait for it to do something. And the cars behind us obviously like started passing us because it was just not natural at all. And in version 12, you can see it's just like nah, nothing. Like we're not. This guy's not moving. We're gonna go right through. Right? Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
This is similarly to kind of like with the video I showed you with the where there was a car making a left turn from the center on an unprotected left turn, and we had to go around it. In this case, you had to wait. So this is like a really odd. I don't know how to describe it. So this is what you're looking at here is a 1 lane. It's a 1 lane road. The other side has 2 lanes, but we have 1 lane. There's no separation. I mean, FSD seems to think it's like it draws it here, but it's really no one uses this as 2 separate lanes. So the only part that people use this for is to make a right turn here. So obviously we're not making a right. We're trying to go straight here. And so
Okay.
the right behavior is like not to go behind these cars making a right turn because this is the straight lane. And
Sure.
so FSD obviously wants to go behind this car, but this car is also making a left turn. And you can see that
Hmm.
this person had already passed him So this is
Mm-hmm.
so you use this either to make a right turn here or
Mm-hmm.
to go straight to go past somebody. But
I
but
see.
but you wouldn't cars wouldn't line up here to go straight. You know what I'm saying? It would be to just to in case you're passing somebody that's making a left turn. Anyway, so what's happened here is like it stops, it detects that the guy is making a left turn, and slowly peeks
Yeah,
around that, like as soon as it's safe to go, it like goes around smoothly.
I love that. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I love how it kind of peeks around. It hesitates before making the move. I'm not sure if version 11 would be able to do that, to be honest.
Yeah. Obviously, I don't have a version 11 to compare it to, but like what I started recommending people, the ones that don't have version 12, is to start recording videos of their drives on version 11, especially the pain points, the ones that are struggling, and then compare how version 12 executes the same behavior, right? And then you can just
Right,
do.
and you have some passengers in your car during some of these videos, right? It sounds like you're getting some feedback from people directly as you're testing.
Yeah, usually with version 11, I was always using it by myself just because yeah, I think you've heard that, passengers don't find it, especially once you tell them that the car is driving itself, they become a
Mm-hmm.
little more wary of it. And so any little thing the car does, like jerky, like movement with the steering wheel or stopping a little too hard or, starting too fast, they notice
Right.
it, right? And so they get a little frightened back. So I tend not to use FSD when I test it with other people. But
Sure.
with version 12, and we can talk about the TESME platform, but I'm giving rides to people that are interested in finding out how version 12 is doing, and so the people that I've had in the car with me have used version 11 in their cars, so they know how version 11 behaves, and so this is their kind of like FSD 12 version 12 experience. And so I think some of these clips, I'm not sure the one that we're going to share, but yeah, so they're like taken back by how great version 12 is doing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's pretty cool experience to have somebody in the driver's seat experience it with you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool.
So this clip, there's a bus ahead of us that's gonna make a stop to obviously a bus stop, and there's like two cars behind it, and FSD, and these two cars get behind and get stuck waiting for the bus while this line of car keeps going. And I mean, you can kind of tell here the FSD detects way ahead that there's going to be a slowdown. And as soon
Mm-hmm.
as it starts slowing down, it starts blinker on and looks for an empty spot, and boom. And there's not much of it. It did it smoothly. Like there was no slowdown. There was a car. It's hard to show here. The car behind us was that gap here that it took, this gap right here between the same gap here is between us. It like it didn't feel unsafe because I'm looking behind my shoulder. I can see it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just
Right.
like in one motion from the blinker to this to that. I mean, that was perfect. And again,
That
it's
is
sometimes video is hard to describe it, but when you're in it, it's like, wow, I can't believe it just did that.
that is so cool. I love that. Yeah, and then this last one here is one that I liked as well, is with drive-through ahead, and there's quite a few cars that are kind of blocking the path, and it identifies them well in advance and just knows exactly what to do.
Yeah, yeah. There's what's happening. Yeah, there's a once this little cute little guy. This is my autonomous buddy, Coco.
I
Um,
noticed.
yeah, they're all over UCLA delivering
Oh,
food,
that's
I
so
guess.
cool.
I actually don't know if they're fully autonomous or they're remote control. Somebody sent in one of the comments that it's remote control, but I thought it was autonomous. Just the way it does some weird things sometimes. But anyway, so once the light turns green, this line of cars here waiting in and out, like the famous hamburger place here in LA. And
Oh
there's always
yes.
like a line of cars going around the building, around the block. And so you always have to that lane here is blocked, so the car has to either wait until all the cars that are going straight past through and then move. But FSD just again, like it detects it way in advance and then turns the blinker on, and then finds that gap. Look at that, without even slowing down. Yeah,
So
I mean,
cool.
it's like perfectly threading the needle there between the two cars.
Mm-hmm. That is so awesome. I love it. Very cool. Well, this next one, when I first saw it, I thought it was a speed bump. I know based on AI Driver, his experiences, and Holmar's blog has also commented on this. Speed bumps seem to be a huge improvement with version 12. However, in your area, it doesn't sound like they're speed bumps. It's actually what you would call road dips. So this was interesting and something that's entirely new to me.
Yeah, so this is actually great that I had this video here, because I had a passenger with me here, Bilal, who has version 11 on his Model S, and there's a road dip here on the street that he has to disengage because his car is low, right? The Model S is low to the ground, so it scrapes the bottom of his car, so he has to disengage every time here. And when we were going through it together, yeah, I'll just leave the volume on because he talks about, he explains.
Especially my car is super low. The Model S, like scratches super easy, so I always go very amazing. Okay, that's a pass.
Yeah, see, like he was thrilled that I don't know if you could hear the audio from the video, but he was thrilled that it works now on version 12.
That's so cool. Can you play that one more time, Stan? I didn't notice the speed slowing down.
Oh yeah, sure. I can scrub through it. Like you'll see, we're going 20. It starts slowing down here. Like you can actually see the chevron thing, right? Like it starts slowing down. Oh, I think actually the chevron is for the street. Like it was just being cautious passing a street. But you'll see here, like right here, like it went down. Let's see, 20, 15 is gonna go down. 10. You see, like it went down to 7, 6. Yeah.
Wow, it's so hard to see. It doesn't show up on the visualization.
Oh yeah, it does not. Definitely does not show a dip in the visualization. But yeah, like you can kind of see how look at the camera, how it like bounces up and down.
Oh yeah.
Definitely a dip there. It's not like. Yeah.
See, those situations, it makes me wonder if the cameras are seeing it or if it's really leveraging those neural nets and taking past experiences of other drivers and just saying, okay, hey, we know that every car that when they drive through this particular area on this road, they slow down. So we have to slow down here.
Yeah, it's a good question. I honestly, yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that it's visual because we can, as humans, see it. Like I can, right? I'm looking at the road and I can see the dip, right? Or my eyes can. I don't have to have like somebody who's done through it tell me like there's a dip here. But if our eyes, I mean, that's what Elon keeps saying, right? Like if our eyes can see, the road and all the things that's happening, and why shouldn't the camera be able to see that? So I'm really hoping that it's like the camera detects this, right? We don't want to.
I'm fascinated. There's no symbols on the road, no white paint or anything showing that that's a dip in the road.
Yeah, those are gnarly for sure.
That's a really cool example. I know you had a couple other examples as well, but I think it's okay to just move on to the next category.
Just as far as speed bumps, just know that 99% of the speed bumps will get detected, and the car will go comfortably over them. So that's something to look forward to if you're on version 11 still.
That's awesome. All right, this next one, human-like behavior.
This one was kind of controversial. I didn't honestly. I'll talk a little bit about what should have happened and what did, but that wasn't the point of this post. It was more about the interaction with this car here in the way. So this is like there's a lot of traffic here, and there's a red light ahead, and the cars are slowing down. And it looks like this car in front of us might stop before there's a keep clear sign right here, right? This guy's trying to make a left turn. Well, like it really, the guy did not stop right at the end, right before the keep clear sign. He kept going, but the car FSD detected. See, so it detected the keep. Well, I don't know if it detected the sign itself, the road, the marking on the ground, or whether it noticed that there was a gap here with stop cars ahead. So it's just gonna give this guy right of way. So I mean, if you talk to many people, they're gonna say like, oh, FSD, did really bad here because it put this guy in danger. Because what's happening here is like we're stopped, but you can see there's like this line of cars is still going, right?
Right.
So if this guy starts turning, like he's putting himself in risk that he might get hit from the car.
Oh, sure.
Right. So technically, what FSD here is basically it's someone a bad driver would do because they've put this person in risk of getting hit, right? But that wasn't the point of the post. The point of the post was that this car is negotiating with another car that is not even in its way. Like it's not even the wheels are not even going towards it.
Oh yeah, right.
Right. So I immediately think like that's the mind thinking. Like there's nothing in so it's waiting basically, and it has room to go, right? Look, it has enough room to keep going, but it's not going because it's waiting for the car to make the turn.
Wow.
And that wasn't explicitly coded in the code, right? This is learned by neural nets. This is why the post said baby AGI, because people didn't really appreciate that this is a negotiation.
Wow, look at how long it waits there too.
Yeah, it's really waiting for this guy to go. And as soon as he clears, look at the car. As soon as the guy clears, the car goes. And look, we still have it's not going because of green light. It's going because it waited for this guy to make the turn and kept going after. Like it's like we just gave him the right of way. Now we can keep going. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I don't think many people appreciated in that post. It's like I get it. Like they need to do better when the car should stop here, right? Like definitely should stop only if the car should stop only if this car ends here, the red car.
Yeah.
That's the only time that FSD should keep this box clear. But the fact that the car ahead went farther, like we shouldn't have stopped, right? That's the argument for me, but that's not what the post was about. But anyways, I wanted to show you that's what I liked about this is the interaction with this car here making a left turn.
Right. That is.
And this guy also can choose not to go. I mean, if I'm going to argue this other side is like, this guy can wait until all the lanes are stopped until he goes, right? If he doesn't feel comfortable, then he shouldn't go, right?
True, right.
And so it's up to him. He has to decide what's safe for him to do or not, right? Right. We just being, maybe overly nice, but it's but again, it's been interesting. This one created a lot of controversy.
Well, I didn't notice in that video previously that the light was still red ahead. It's hard to see in there, but yeah, that's a really great point too, is that it didn't move forward because the light turned green. It moved forward because he finally
the guy passed. The guy went out. Yeah.
That's cool. Now this one is the one that I was thinking earlier, where it's a very assertive move into the left turn lane. And I know you had a lot of comments on this, if I'm correct on which video this is.
Yeah. That's the one that we're making a right turn. Okay, yeah, this one. This is the one that's. So I took this car through two scenarios. One was me in the car by myself, and the other one was with my friend Nikhil, who was showing FSD 12 too, right? And we went through that same intersection. His scenario was a little bit more clear cut, where it was like the FSD looked like it took the right opportunity. The question, the controversial one here, is whether FSD should have waited until all the cars cleared out before making a right turn. Now, what the nuance here is that, okay, I'll stop this here. This intersection looks like they've only allowed to go, I mean, obviously, because it's like this is across from us is an off ramp from a highway, and both of these lanes are allowed to make a left turn into its own lane here. So this line of cars is making a left, and there's also another lane here that people can make a left turn. And so
is that a green arrow for them?
No, they have the same green light. There's no green arrow. So who has the right of way? I mean, I assume that U.S. laws all say that the right of way should be a right turn over a left turn, right, on a green.
True.
Right. So technically, we have the right of way. So we have the right of way here to go. They should be waiting for us. But just like they're just following each other along, and so they're in the line of, they're just like a caravan of cars. They're not going to stop for some one random guy here waiting, right?
Sure.
And so they keep going. So you're gonna see. Well, I'm just gonna play it through. You'll see how FSD reacts to this.
They need to yield to you.
Yeah, exactly. And so look, FSD is creeping forward more and more and more, and out of the view, it takes its right of way, and the guy behind got upset. But I'll scrub it back here, right? So look what's happening. So FSD is slowly creeping through, and this is how I would make this move myself as a human. Is like I want to give them a hint that, hey, it's my right of way. You guys need to stop, slow down, right? I need to get over. This is my, like, I have the right of way here.
Right.
These guys are not stopping, and so this car actually is not even. I'm not even sure where this white car comes from. It's probably like, I think it's in the outer turning lane here. And
you are awfully brave, Stan, to not to not disengage with that one.
I mean, he honked hard. He honked hard here, and I put that little thing here. Yeah, he honked here, and then he afterwards, well, look how he stopped. He stopped right here to flip me off.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, see how it's like slowed down? He he purposely like slowed down to like look at me with an angry look, face, and
it makes no sense. Yeah, you had the right of way. That's
so but this is why it's like it's a hard thing, because you have to be safe, right? You have to follow the laws, obviously, but if the other people don't follow the laws, the FSD has to be. So this is one of those tricky situations. Like FSD needs to know exactly when to go, even though they have the right of way. We have the right of way. We need to know. We need to do it safely. So is that part of where AGI comes in? Like, is that what's needed to make that decision? Because definitely not going to be a human coding this situation,
right?
Explicitly coding like that scenario.
So true. Well, awesome. This is really exciting. So we've got one next category with one video on U-turns, and this has been shown. AI drivers highlighted this. I don't know if Holmar's blog has, but U-turns seem to be kind of now a feature, although it's not documented, but it seems like it successfully executes them more than not with version 12.
And it's funny, I think one of the Tesla engineers, the reason why I don't think they have it explicitly said it in the release notes is because they didn't specifically train it on U-turns, I believe. I think it's just like watching videos of people doing U-turns, right? And so it's like almost like a feature of just having like showing them a bunch of video clips, and this is what the output is, right? So and then that's why it was like a surprise. Many people were surprised when these things get pulled off in version 12. It's like, whoa, like this thing threw me. Like, I was not expecting that to be that smooth, because I don't know if you've taken any on version 11. Man, it's the wheel starts going crazy. It tries to change its mind halfway through, and then the red hands pop up, like take over the wheel. I mean, it's a crazy experience. So that's why I never attempted them more than like once or twice in version 11. And when I took this video, I didn't really expect. I wasn't really expecting to make the turn. I thought it was gonna just like make a left turn here, and then I was like, it really taken aback when it started going. And there's only enough room for the car if pull the wheel all the way to the left, and barely made it. I thought we were gonna scrape the side of the road, but look, it's a one. Yeah, I was really surprised.
That is really.
I was really surprised that it did it. I mean, it did it with super smooth and no hesitation. It just went right to it. Yeah.
That is awesome. Love it. Very, very nice. The next one here is left turns, and I did think it's important to kind of go through several of these. So there's, as everyone knows, Chuck Cook. I think everyone who's on here knows Chuck Cook is kind of famous for his unprotected left turn down in Florida. There are a number of different unprotected left turns, and one of them is when the light is green and you can turn left, but the traffic's coming. So I would still classify that as an unprotected left. But the true unprotected lefts that Chuck tests and shows is where there's like traffic going both ways, and you're going kind of perpendicular, and you have to go out into like a creep zone in the middle, a very, very challenging maneuver. And you've witnessed both of these scenarios with version 12, and it seems, I mean, based on my perspective, I don't have version 12 in my car, but based on my perspective, it seems to be a big improvement. Would you agree with that? Have you noticed improvements with left turns?
So yeah, it's good to mention that there's a difference between the different type of unprotected left turns, right? Like in here, in this example, I just want to show. I put up both videos of the two different. So this here is a check style turn where there's no traffic light. You're starting from like perpendicular to the road. Right. Can you see this? Yeah, I just want to make sure you can see it.
Yes.
And you're waiting for all the both sides to clear before you go, right? And that's Chuck Cook unprotected left turn.
Yep.
And that's one type. But then there's also this one this is the one where you're parallel to the street. You're waiting in the middle of the intersection and waiting until all the cars clear before you make a left. So both of these are called unprotected left turns, but obviously there's completely different like types, right? So the improvement in version 12 I see is in this type of the one with the traffic light. Previously in version 11, it would hesitate even if the light turned yellow, it would just not be confident enough to go. So it would just get stuck waiting at even yellow to red transition, and you're like stuck in the middle of the road. You got to press the accelerator to get going. Right. Well, in version 12, like it's super assertive, which maybe that's one of its faults, is like sometimes too assertive. I have shown pictures where it's like tries to go in front of cars that maybe doesn't have like kind of cutting them off. So they need to dial that in. But it's doing much better executing these. What I noticed with check style turns, it's kind of the opposite. It will not. This is a good example of where it worked, where I didn't have to touch I didn't hit the accelerator to get going. It found its gap and went. But there's other scenarios where even though there's both sides are clear, it's not certain. Maybe it's visibility, but it requires the accelerator press. So the unprotected left turns still have work to do. It's not, that's one of those, I have always thought it was one of the hardest things to solve for FSD. This is one of those things that's not like, it's not like going straight in the line where it's like the easiest thing to do. This is difficult. Unprotected lefts are very difficult because you have to negotiate with like you need to know how fast the other cars are going, when to go, and even as a human, I don't know if you have these in Chicago. There's no green arrow. This, I've driven for over 20 years. This still is one of the scariest turns. Like these left turns where, and especially if you have a line of cars behind you that are pressuring you, like they also want to make a left turn, and there's a lot of traffic. It's like, well, you should have taken that little gap that you had. No, I don't want to die. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
So just a comment on that. Yeah, we do have those in Chicago area, and the appropriate thing to do is to push yourself all the way into the middle of the intersection.
Right.
And then when the light turns from yellow to red, that's when you typically would go. If of course you would go if there's a gap in the traffic.
Yeah.
But I'm curious here. I mean, I can't remember. Does it actually go into the middle?
Yeah, it goes in the middle. This one is interesting because what you look for here is that it wants to make a left turn, and there's a car going straight and there's a car making a left turn here, but there's also a car coming down that maybe it's not visible to FSD initially, but you'll notice that once that first car clears, it's about to look at this, it's about to go.
Yeah, look at the steering wheel. You can see the blue steering wheel,
and then it noticed the car's still coming, so it changed its mind. But it wasn't like a jerky motion. It just, you can kind of feel that it makes you feel safer that the car like this changed its mind, and you can feel that in the car. That move right here of like the going from like this part right here from you can kind of see the wheel start turning here, the blue wheel, and then immediately look it goes back. That little motion gives you felt like security that it's not gonna gun it in front of this car. So it made you feel safer, and then it waited for the cars to clear, and then it went and
version 11 would start to go, and then rather than correcting the steering wheel, it would just like abruptly stop
in the middle of the and sometimes in the middle of the intersection.
Yes.
Dangerous, right?
Fascinating.
Let's see. This was this is another unprotected left where So there's a regression here. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this one, I think if I'm not mistaken, this is where it takes a long time. It's extra patient, right?
No, this one is the one with the pedestrian. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the one where this road has like some weird curvature to it from where the center of the road is kind of, I don't know if you can see it here. Look at the line, the white line.
Yeah, that's right.
How it's
So this
convex?
is, yeah, this is something I wanted to highlight to everybody, just so people don't think that we're cherry picking videos. The majority of the cases here, I think, are very positive and good, but it's by no means perfect. So there are still some issues, and this is one of them.
Yeah. In this scenario, once the light turns green, like we have to go in the center of the road and wait until this pedestrian goes through. Like, they're gonna start walking across. And but you'll see that FSD, I don't know if it doesn't see, it's something with the lighting. I don't really know exactly what it didn't see. But look, it started going. It was gonna try to go in front of this pedestrian, and it was just too close, right? Like you can already see they're
Really?
halfway up the lane, the first lane.
Yeah, and they still show up in the video. You can.
And
It's
look at
not
it,
like they disappeared.
and it's probably not good to say like this is what FSD is seeing in the visualization, because I think the visualization is taken from version 11. But you can also see here, it shows that the person is on the sidewalk while they're already walking in the street, right? So there's a disconnect right here. It shows that they're still on the sidewalk, and if FSD thinks they're still on the sidewalk, then it has enough room to go in front of them. But it's not. Like when FSD starts going, this person's already halfway up the street.
Yeah.
But look at the visualization; it still shows them as the beginning of the curb. So that's bad, right? Like it needs to be able to detect the exact position of these pedestrians. So yeah, I had to disengage because it would have scared I don't have doubt they would have stopped for the pedestrian, but it would have scared them. It would have scared them a lot. Because
do you have the voice feedback? Like when you disengage now, do you have the option to do voice feedback?
Yeah, I don't have the video like you guys have. I just this one shows me saying that it didn't yield to pedestrian. But you guys in the quote OG beta testers, you guys have also like a little camera capture.
Correct. Yeah, right.
I don't have that, but at least I had the voice notes to report.
Okay, so the voice notes are still there with version 12. Okay, good to know.
Right. Yeah. So I reported that. Yeah.
Nice.
And this one's also another one of the regressions. What I was telling you about as far as being assertive / aggressive on these left turns, you'll see here that it doesn't yield to cars that are trying to go straight or even make a right turn, right? Because we're gonna have to be in the center of we're making a left turn here, and there's some cars that are going straight, some cars that are making a right, and both of those situations have a right of way over us, so we got to wait until they go. And so here you'll see it, like this car is gonna make a right, we wait for them, but then oops, why are we going? All right, like we should be waiting for them.
Yeah, right.
So it created so you can kind of see by the path here it was gonna go.
Oh yeah, you were awfully brave, I have to say.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had to disengage. And the second scenario in the same intersection, this car, it waits for this car to go, but then this guy is gonna make a right turn and decides. It kind of threw me off. Like I didn't have a chance to hit the. I honestly did not expect that it was gonna take off. And so I disengaged with the steering wheel, but it was already like in no man's land right here. Right, I can't just stop in the middle of the street. It was just like a weird situation where like there's no choice but me hitting the accelerator and going through there quickly. So yeah, it's things they need to work on, and maybe that's the reason why it hasn't been like a wide release yet. Maybe there's these kind of scenarios requires it requires a driver to be extra careful, paying attention. Yeah. And imagine releasing it to 400,000 people. And all it takes is one person not to pay attention to cause an accident, and then we could go backwards instead of progress back. They might take it away from this. It's really, and I think Tesla has done like an amazing job over the last 2.5, 3 years, just to safely roll out these versions. Like, can you believe like how safe that they've done this? Is like you don't really hear of these crashes on FSD, like, you know, so they got to keep that going and make sure that whatever they release does not increase the chances of an accident. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, to be very cautious. I agree.
Yeah. So I think we're down to the last one, right? The bonus one.
Yeah, bonus footage. So this, oh, let me hide this. I have this as a scroll down at the bottom. Yeah, this one was really fun. I just thought this was neat because it's kind of like it follows the laws and it does what it should do. But you know, most humans, they're a little bit less likely to follow the law, especially when they're in a rush.
Yeah, this one is this is actually right by SpaceX in Hawthorne. This is a light that if you catch the red light here, you're gonna wait a good 2.5 to 5 minutes, you know, waiting for the light to turn green. And so just people, you know, unfortunately are super impatient and rather break the law and put other people in danger than to wait at the traffic light. So you can see here, look, 1, 2, 3 people just running the red light.
Whoops.
And actually, technically it's 4 because this guy right here making a right, he needs to stop. There's a stop, you know, when you have a red light, it's got to stop before you go. But look, he rolls right through it. There's no stop. So it's like 4 people. FSD did perfectly well, and you know, Dan O'Dow is gonna highlight the one out of a million times that FSD missed the traffic, you know, like a stop sign, even though there's a human controlling it behind the wheel. But he will not share a video that shows like humans running, you know, traffic lights, and it happens. I captured one probably out of millions that happen daily, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing all those with us. It's I think it's so cool to have everything in one spot. So I hope this was helpful for people. Very insightful. Can't wait to get my hands on it. I'll be testing it in Chicago the minute it comes into my car. It was rumored by Tesla Scope that version 12 would be coming out this weekend. Another push would go out. If anybody in the chat has received it, I haven't checked my phone in about an hour or two. It seems like every hour I'm checking my phone for updates to see if I have it. But no, it's fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing all this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those things where I got, you know, when I received FSD a year and a half ago for the first time, one of my intentions was, well, first I wanted to share like with Tesla, the engineering team, about like, you know, any kind of disengagement, any way that I can help them improve the system. I was ready to like record and send them videos, you know, even though they might not even look at them, you know, because you have to email them to send these videos in. They might not ever look at them, but I wanted to be sort of like a part of the process. I wanted to help train the system. So that's what kind of gave me, that's one of the reasons why I started doing this. And then I realized that, you know, when I posted a few of these on X, and people thought they found them helpful. So now I'm, you know, especially with version 12 only going out to, you know, I got lucky. I feel lucky that I received it early, that I can share with others the progress. And so I've made these.
I love your layout. Yeah, your layout is awesome with the real world on the top and then the screen on the bottom. That's just it really encapsulates everything in one spot.
Yeah, you know, it evolved to that. Initially, when I first started doing FSD videos, I created a YouTube channel, and I created like a, you know, yeah, I'm sure everybody in the FSD world knows AI Driver. He's got some of the, you know, the most amazing production. I mean, I think that you and him probably like the gold standards of like FSD video production. And I kind of wanted to do a similar thing where, you know, I had the same thing, like sort of like a faded view of this, and then you have the camera. But the amount of editing time and narration of videos took so long. Like the first video was like one of those loops I did in Westwood to test FSD, and it took me like 2-3 days to edit, and I think I had like 3 views. and I was like, no one's watching this. Why am I going through all this trouble, right? And so when this came about, it was much easier to edit. I just kind of like, you know, you kind of create a template of like splitting the 2 videos. You just have to sync them up and then make a square, because X, when you post on X, the videos only show up like in a, you know, if you're scrolling the feed, you only see like a X, like a square box of video. So I'm like, oh, I might as well just make a square, and so the easier for people to consume, watch it like 30-second videos, and like people's attention span obviously is a lot lower than it used to be, and they can only handle like 30-second videos. So I figured, and you know, when you do these FSD drives, you know, you might drive for like 30 minutes, but the interesting parts are really very far and few between, right? Like there's just like only like traffic lights, making turns, like straight ahead. No, like nothing. FSD is going to perform 100% well on a straightaway line, right? So it's kind of boring to watch. So when you do these interesting little, it's like like edge case videos,
Yes.
people find them. At least I've found, and so yeah, so this is how that evolved the way that I'm making these videos.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, and you have the HDMI out too, which is really cool. It gives you that high fidelity. I love how you bring that steering wheel front and center so you can see that above all else as well. Because with that, you kind of miss the in-cabin view of
Yeah,
seeing the steering wheel. But I like how you show, you know, the road in its entirety. It's really
yeah,
nice.
yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, that's the one thing that I think you have on yours also showing the steering wheel, right? I'm not sure, but AI
A
driver
couple of
has
mine. Mhm.
AI driver has like a in through like it's a transparency of this overlay where you can see
Yeah.
his steering wheel behind it. You can see the
Yes.
steering wheel move, but I don't have this in mind, so I needed to show a way, like especially since, you know, one of the important thing is like how jerky this wheel is over
Yeah.
time. Like as a
Right.
progress, you want this to be smooth so you can actually see it move, you know, as it's
Yeah.
making turns. Yeah.
That adds a lot. Right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Stan is super valuable with his content. You can follow him at EdgeCase411 on X, and he's continuing to post high quality videos discussing the new features coming out with version 12. I saw Chris comment that he's also in Chicago waiting for the update. You and me, buddy. Hopefully soon here. But thank you again so much, Stan, for coming on here, and I look forward to continuing to look at your content and working with you in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't mind, do you mind if I share a little bit about the TESME platform
Oh,
that I
please
mentioned?
do.
Yeah. This is what I mentioned was I'll bring up that video with Bilal when I did the dips. Yeah, when like this was the drive where I had so yeah, so I have a close friend that created a new platform. So it's basically a startup, a small startup that it has a very similar mission to Tesla's. Basically, accelerate the adoption of EVs and autonomous vehicles. It's a subset of what Tesla's mission is, right? And so that platform helps educate people about EVs. And so you can create a host account where you're like, let's say I created a host account being I have FSD 12. And so if there's people that excuse me, are interested in learning about FSD, well, they can book a ride with me, and I'll show them. I'll take them around, like just like I did with Bilal. And in this case, he has version 11, so he was curious how version 12 behaved. So we took him on a version 12 ride. But if it could be also just somebody is like interested about buying Tesla, like they don't know anything about the car. Well, you book a trip with a host who's familiar with Tesla, and they'll tell you everything you want to know about it. They'll tell you how to charge it. They'll tell you how to, I mean, just all the positive benefits of having an EV. And I think it's an important platform because, as you know, Tesla does not really advertise. And one of the things that's lacking is the people just don't know. They're getting the wrong information about EVs. And I feel like this platform is like a great. I think it's a powerful platform to help accelerate that, like actually teaching people the right things, and like helping them, showing them what the capability is out there. People don't know that FSD even exists. And so yeah, I
Right.
just wanted to kind of mention that people should check out TESME, either try it as a host or a guest and book a ride with somebody.
Yeah, I've been
You should do
wanting
it
to
too,
get signed
John.
up as a host myself. I've been
Yeah.
procrastinating through no other reason than that.
Yeah, because you do you do Uber rides, right? So I mean that's basically a similar thing. You can get somebody
True.
to show them, take them somewhere, a destination that they have, and just during that time show them how FSD works.
Right. And the best part is that they are really curious and they're fully engaged. They want to understand. So discussion is on the table for sure.
Yeah,
Most Uber
exactly.
drives, people are just on their phone, they're bored, they're not interested.
Exactly. Yeah. When you take an Uber rider, you don't really know if they want to talk to you or not. So you don't.
Right.
But when you take somebody on a ride with this, they 100% sure they're going to be interested in whatever you have to say about FSD or just like Tesla. Or it doesn't have
Right.
to be just
Absolutely.
Tesla. It could be EVs. They could be interested in EVs, and you can just tell them what the benefit of EVs is.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wes made a comment. He said that's a great business model. I agree. It really is, to help share and spread the word, because so many people are curious and they don't really know how to get in a car and test it. Because if you go for a test drive, I don't think a lot of those cars they have full self-driving enabled. In fact, I know they don't. You can test autopilot, obviously, because that's built into the car.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the service centers, when you go for a test drive, if they can enable enhanced autopilot or some of the advanced driver assist features. But yeah, that is really great. I really look forward to testing that. And I understand Chuck Cook recently signed up to become a host, is what you were telling me the other day.
Not only host, he's now as an advisor now. He actually is official advisor for the company. So that's like a big name to have to back. Like even he uses the words
That's
like
huge.
powerful. It's a powerful platform.
Yeah.
That just needs, because it's such a small startup, it's hard to get traction. People need to hear about it. And so, if you can, try it out, just if you like it, share on social media. And that's the only way that this thing can grow, right? We don't there's no money to really advertise or get, it's really the word of mouth at this point. Yeah.
Sure. Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for allowing me to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, hey, thanks so much everyone for joining. We'll hopefully see you in the next one here coming up soon. I'm trying to get a video with Julianne. She posts a lot of videos on X with her version 12 experiences, and I think she has a lot to add, a lot of really cool content on her part as well. And she tends to be very real. She doesn't hide anything. She's a kind of a little bit like me. I think there's some impression that I'm maybe too negative in the community, but I post the good, the bad, and everything in between. And I've seen Jillian doing the same, so I hope to get her on a live stream coming up this week or next week. So thank you everybody so much for joining.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me again, John. It was a pleasure. Hopefully do this again. Maybe we'll get some more feature updates and we'll do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally down for that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a good
you.
evening. All right. Bye now.